nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, how you doing, Eddie Mac? Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Rosso,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce,
Here.
Commissioner Saunders, Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor.
Also present, Don Haley and Jane Duncan, County Planning. Please silence or turn off your cell phones during the meeting. Important calls may be taken outside the meeting room. The Planning and Zoning Commission minutes will be reviewed for the September meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of September 2022. Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Call the vote, please.
Commissioner Rosso,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Abstain.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
All right. Montezuma County Planning Commission welcomes you to this meeting. The board is comprised of members who are tasked to make recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners. We're not the decision makers. We encourage public comment after each permit. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced at the discretion of the Planning Commission to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address their thoughts and concerns. When addressing the commission, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual applicants are not permitted. Participants may not yield their time to others. And Commissioner Chairman Rosso shall be voting at this meeting. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rosso,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce,
Here.
Commissioner Saunders,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Taylor.
All right, number 1, notice is hereby given the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed single lot development and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Christopher Cutrone on property located at 15125 Road 28, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 40 acres more or less, located west of Road 28, east of Highway 145, situated in Section 29, Township 37 North, Range 15 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. Is the public hearing, was the public notice published?
Yes, sir.
Was evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir.
And was the sign posted?
Yes, sir.
All right, would the applicant like to come up, please? Chris, you can just have a seat for now.
Right there
Yes,
Yeah.
no, have a seat here.
at the table.
You're
please.
still in the hot seat,
Front and
Chris.
center.
You'll need to turn that
Microphone
microphone on.
Yeah, you might turn your microphone on. Any planning department findings?
Yes, Chris proposes to create a single lot development consisting of 4 acres more or less. There are utilities and water available, and basically that is it. There is a house on the property already, so the utility infrastructure is easily attainable.
Access doesn't look like it's a problem. Would you like to add anything to that, Chris?
No, I really have nothing to add.
Okay. Any planning commission discussion?
I have a question. On the 4 acres, does the east property line touch Road 28?
Yes.
Or is there no man's land there, as the picture shows? I understand it's just a picture.
Oh, it does.
It does
So
touch.
north of the driveway, that's all 28 right there.
Okay, so the 4 acres, the east property line does touch 28?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is an easement?
Yeah, it does for part of that section. There is an area there where it does not reach the county road right of way.
Oh, it doesn't reach, is this 4 acres part of that?
Yeah, the southeast corner,
Looks like the
does
first.
touch it, but up here, if you look at the map,
Right, okay, yeah, that's what I was
there's a
questioning,
little
that
bit
no
of,
man's land.
little bit of the east property that,
So access then would strictly be off the very southwest corner of the 4 acres to get into it?
the southeast corner,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like about 25% of that would be on it.
Thanks.
Any more planning commission discussion? All right, we'll open it up to the public comment. Would anyone from the public like to comment on this? All right, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission. If there's no further discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I can make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a proposed single lot development in AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by Christopher Cutrone based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant impacts on other property in the area. And public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning. And I do not have any conditions.
Second.
Stan?
Stan?
Any further discussion on the motion?
No.
Seeing none, we'll call the vote, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Motion carried. The vote was unanimous. Good luck to you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce,
Here.
Commissioner Saunders,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yep.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
All right, number 2, notice is hereby given the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed single lot development and AR 3 to 9 rezoning application submitted by Brad and Keri Mustoe on property located at 13698 Road 17, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 150.14 acres, more or less, located south of Road P, east of Road 17, situated in Section 4, Township 36 North, Range 17 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
And was evidence of letters the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir?
And the sign was posted?
Yes, sir?
All right, would applicants like to come up to the table, please? Brad? All right, there were
My wife's at the parent-teacher conferences tonight, so
Oh,
she's not here.
planning department findings?
Brad and Keri are planning to create a single lot development consisting of 10 acres, more or less. The remaining 140 acres will continue to be agricultural in use. The part that they are dividing off does have a residence on it, so all the infrastructure is already in place. And they will be having an easement that goes to the east side of the property in order to connect the two pieces.
60-foot easement?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's actually part of the 140 acres, it's
yeah,
not
it's
just
just
an
part of the
easement.
140 acres.
Okay. You like to add anything to that, Brad?
No, just my kids have been living there since 2011, and they're ready to try to build a house and need to own the property.
Right, yeah. Okay. All right, any question?
No.
This doesn't fall into that segmenting because Mr. Musgrove owns 4 and 5 also.
Say one more time?
It doesn't fall under that segmenting,
No, it doesn't.
because he owns 4 or 5 and then owned the top piece, and then the 140 acres. So the two that are in red there, he owns also.
Correct. Those were created by exemption.
Okay. Okay, as long as it doesn't. My only question.
Anything further? All right, we'll open it up to public comment. Would anybody from the public like to comment on this? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission. If there's no further discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I can make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a proposed single lot development in AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by Brad and Keri Mustoe based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning. And I have no conditions.
Second that.
Who was that? That Eddie Mack? Okay. All right, any further discussion on the motion? Call the vote, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
All right, the motion carried, the vote was unanimous. Good luck to you, Brad.
Thank you.
A roll call, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce,
Here.
Commissioner Saunders,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
Number 3, notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed subdivision amendment application to lots 1 and 21 of the Butler subdivision submitted by Hennis Enterprises LLC on property located at 24114 Road 37, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 1.32 acres, more or less, and Holpuck Family Trust located at 24118 Road 37, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 11.90 acres, more or less. Both located east of Highway 145, situated in Section 11, Township 38 North, Range 17 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
Evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted,
Yes, sir?
and the sign was posted.
Yes, sir?
Would the applicants like to come to the table, please? And planning department findings?
Sure. The owners of both properties are proposing to square up the boundary lines of their respective properties on both the east and west sides. But it's basically a boundary line adjustment, but because it's in the subdivision, it has to go through the permitting process, common lot line change.
Will the size of the properties change any, either one?
Slightly,
Not much.
maybe a quarter of an acre, not a lot.
So that's what it's gonna be.
It needs to be noted that because the one property is 1.32 acres, it was created back in 1959, and so that was the size of the subdivision lots then, so.
Would you guys like to add anything to that?
I'm still trying to understand this. So the little square up above Dolores River, then that's now gonna be the property belonging to 24114?
Yeah, that right, that triangle,
Hey,
yeah.
that little triangle, okay?
And the one on the left side too,
And
on
this
the
one
left
over here,
side,
too.
that one too.
And then that goes to the other,
No, that goes also to 24114.
okay. Okay. All right, I get it.
further discussion? We'll open to the public for comment. Would anybody from the public like to comment? All right, we'll bring it back to the commission. If there's no further discussion, entertain a motion.
I can make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners, trying to move that to me. To approve a proposed subdivision amendment application to lots 1 and 21 of the Butler subdivision submitted by Hennes Enterprises LLC on property located at 24114 Road 37, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 1.32 acres more or less and Holpuck Family Trust based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning, and I have no conditions.
Second.
John? Okay,
You,
all right, and moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this motion?
She's been absent for quite a few meetings, so we're letting her make up.
Not, we'll call the vote, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Vote was unanimous. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce, Commissioner Saunders,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
All right. Number 4, notice hereby given the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a general planned unit development, special use permit, and rezoning application submitted by Jeremy and Rebecca Gardner on property located at 27256 Road P, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 6.60 acres more or less, located south of Road P, east of Highway 145, situated in Section 6, Township 36 North, Range 15 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
Evidence of the letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted,
Yes, sir?
and the sign was posted.
Yes, sir?
Would the applicants like to come to the table, please? Welcome. Planning Department findings?
Sure. Jeremy and Rebecca propose to create up to 6 tiny homes in 2 phases for short-term rental business. The surrounding properties consist of residential and agricultural uses. There is a driveway access permit has been obtained for the residents. However, a new driveway permit will be required to be obtained for the proposed project. And all the infrastructure, utility infrastructure is in for the residents, so it can just be going over to the others.
You guys like to add anything to that?
No, the infrastructure, I don't think has been installed yet, though, for the residents.
Oh, no, but it's already there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
there close by.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Planning-
phase 1 would be units 1, 2, and 3. This is kind of hard to read, but they're the 3 right there on your map. And the dotted lines, 4, 5, and 6 would be phase 2.
All right, any planning commission discussion?
What are the approximate sizes of the homes?
They're around 300 square feet, so they're pretty small.
I just find it difficult to imagine putting it's a motel on a residential lot with residents all around it. That's just the way I feel. It's just hard for me to put my arms around that. In another location, it's a great idea. You know, people like having a motel, if you will, you know, and just, I mean, I know what you're trying to do, keep it in the country, they could appreciate it, but, you know, I just have a hard time with it.
Are these units gonna be more like Airbnbs, one-night stays, two-night stays?
Short term, yeah.
You guys have talked to an engineer about the septic systems.
Yes. Yeah, we're working with Cap Allen to design stuff.
How many will you have to have? Just,
He thinks we can do one, and that would be the max amount of units that we could do on one system.
The
Okay.
system's there on the south end of the drive.
mhm.
There's the tank and here's the leach field.
Yeah, probably be a pretty big tank and system for
Mhm.
basically 6 bathrooms, huh? Any further planning commission discussion? Stan, you good?
I'm like you, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We'll open this up to public comment. Anyone from the public like to comment? Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Wayne Jones. I live at 27322 Road P. That'll be the property that's just to the east and to the south of this property. And 27322 Road P. And I'm in a quandary here because I'll be honest, I hate this idea of this going next door to me, but I hate the idea of telling somebody what to do with their property. I'm caught in that quandary here, but I just think that this is the wrong place for that, and I'm concerned about my agricultural stuff that goes on. And I haven't even had a chance to meet these folks or talk with them, so I don't know what their plans are, but I've got, at the southern end of the property, I've got barns and corrals that have been there for decades. The people that owned all this property before the split up built corrals, so my concern is, are they going to be upset for their guests about my agricultural activity, the corrals, the horses, the cattle, the stink, the flies, all the stuff we've done there for forever, all the tractor work we do, the irrigation stuff we do, is that gonna be a concern for his guests? And to be honest, I think that if you look at the map and look at the property, I don't want to tell him no, but I feel like there might be some give and take on this, like maybe some less number of these, because 6 is a lot in that small little neighborhood. And maybe we could have had some discussions about this back and forth as a neighborhood, rather than I get this letter about, like he said, a motel and trailer park going in right next door to me in a place where we bought to be away from this. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to, it's their property, I want them to have the ability to do that, but maybe there's something that we can all do as neighbors to work on this, rather than something that most of us are very unhappy about. So I don't want to be unreasonable, it is their property, so that would be what I have to say. So,
Thank you. Please come up.
Good evening, I'm Susan Zellifer, 27301 Road P. And I bought my property about 2.5 years ago over there. I've been living there now for 2 years. And I very carefully sought out property that was not next to or in a subdivision. And this comes, to me, this appears that a subdivision is going in across the street from me. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. I'm concerned about reduction in property values, increased traffic and noise, and it doesn't conform at all to the character of the whole neighborhood, which is farms and ranches and single residences. I'm also, by the way, speaking on behalf of not just myself, but the Velasquez family who live right next door to me, and Phyllis Rayford, also known as Grayson, she's the Eagle's Nest on your notification list there. And they are equally opposed to having such a thing. I just think it's the wrong place. I think it might be a good idea someplace else where it's not like in a residential neighborhood. You know, I've got livestock too. I've got horses, and you know, I worry about things like that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please come up.
Hi, my name's Crystal Hunt. I'm at 27230 Road P. So I'm on the opposite side. I'm the second neighbor. I also would agree with Mr. Wayne. It does kind of feel like a little motel. We did reach out to this one. I don't know your name, Garrett. Say it again, Jerry. The morning that he came and made the first driveway, my husband did try to reach out and talk. It was pretty vague. So I agree with Mr. Wayne that it would have been nice to have more of a group discussion because we do put cows on that side, which will be closest to. So we also use that from time to time, cows, and you know, the whole reason we moved there is the quietness and the peacefulness, not the heavy traffic. So I just figured I wanted to come and state what I had to say. I mean, I love the fact that they're thinking of doing, but it does feel like an apartment complex pretty much right in the smack in the middle of our little oasis, as I call it. I look forward to seeing the deer every night and every morning. So with all that traffic, we wouldn't see any of that, you know. That's why I live out of town and not in the town. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the Planning Commission.
So this complies with everything?
Yeah, it does. And the access road, the driveway would continue on south to their residence. So they will be living on the property. Is this seasonal or year-round?
It would be available year-round.
John, already? Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, I guess I would entertain a motion.
So I can't do Haley, it's yours.
All right. I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a general plan unit development special use permit and rezoning application submitted by Jeremy and Rebecca Gardner based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning. I don't have any conditions. Do any of you? Okay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All right, moved and seconded. We'll call the vote, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Nay.
Commissioner Taylor.
Nay.
All right. There's a 3-2 vote in favor and 2 opposed. All right, good luck to you folks.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Pierce, Commissioner Saunders,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yep.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
All right. Number 5, notice is hereby given. The Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a general planned unit development, special use permit, and AR 35 plus rezoning application. Submitted by Elevated Smoke LLC, agent Cole Clark, on property located at 7231 Road 25, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 35 acres more or less, located north of Road G, east of Road 25, situated in Section 3, Township 36 North, Range 16 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is the public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
Was evidence of letters of the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir?
And the sign was posted?
Yes, sir?
Would the applicant like to come up, please? Any planning department findings?
Yes, Mr. Clark proposes to create a general planned unit development. At first, the application went out saying that he would have up to 5 quadruplexes. Now it's only going to be 3. And it's going to be completed in several phases. So it's not going to be all at once. The access will be off of Road G. He has been in contact with the county road superintendent, and he has obtained the inspection to come off of Road G. And basically, all the utility infrastructure is right there at Road G, and that's basically it.
You'd like to add anything to that?
No, I have all my I have plenty of water. I just put my driveway in, so that's all approved by Road and Bridge. That's done. Comes off the county road, so it's all paved, so there won't be any extra dust or anything like that. And I also plan on paving the whole entire drive, so there's not any extra dust for any of the neighbors or anything like that. And there's, like I said, it's kind of a busy road already, but there should be going over it. There should be, not a significant impact to anybody else around.
So now he's not doing these, he's only doing these.
We're really only talking about a small portion of the property that you have.
Correct.
You're developing
Yes.
the rest later.
What type of units are you planning?
So the phase one will be, they're gonna be, it's basically gonna be pour one big slab, and we're gonna build 4 single-bedroom units on that one, and the phase two will be the same, and it will be 27 by 25, about 806 square feet, if I can remember right, per unit. So single bedroom, single bath. And then in phase three, those will potentially be 2-bedroom units. Really just comes down to cost and what is needed.
Phase two will be just exactly like phase one.
Correct.
So you're talking duplexes?
It'd be
In phase one and phase two?
Fourplex.
There'll be a quadplex, yeah.
Fourplex?
And there's only gonna be 3, there's not gonna be 5.
I just ran out of, I wanted to make sure I was within the time frame, so I have to build within 3 years. So I wanted to make sure I can get it all done within the 3 years, and we ran into the statute of limitations, I believe it was. So I wasn't open-ended, basically.
Right, yeah, with vested rights, per state statute, you've got 3 years upon approval, so we limit the phasing to 3 years. At that point, or at any point, if this is approved and it's built out, and he's looking for any more development, then you would be looking at amending what was already approved. But it would have to go back through the process in the future. Right now, it's just the 3 phases, potentially 1 phase per year over the next 3 years.
So we'll have basically a commercial enterprise within a residential agricultural space.
It'll just be another residential space. It's not an enterprise.
Well,
I would say.
You're gonna have 4, and 3, right?
There'll be 4, it'll become all 4, so it'll be 12 units
Okay,
altogether.
12 units, okay. Apartment complex.
Yeah.
Have you checked the water table there?
Yes, I've had a geological study, Wickstrom Engineering, and it's all suitable, yeah.
Kind of wet down there.
Not on that side. Yeah, I actually live on the other side of that, and it's much wetter over there. Yeah, my neighbor's driveway is now my driveway from the rainstorm.
Any further planning commission discussion?
You're not planning on selling these individual units, you're planning on leasing, renting?
Just leasing, yeah. If they were to be sold in the future, it would be the entire lot, everything altogether. There's also 2 homes on the other side of that horseshoe that I rent out right now.
So Don, what would be the process of having the 1, 2, 3 units in 3 years, right? Has to be done within 3 years?
Correct.
So in year 4, what would be the process for phase 5 and 4 and 5?
If he wants to do more than 3 units, then it would have to amend the PUD for anything.
Come back
more.
to the process again?
To
Correct.
resubmit?
Everything, yes. Everything would go through the process again
Okay.
for any other kind of development. And there is a question on our zoning application. At the end of it, it states, is there any possible or potential future development? So he has indicated that if all of this works, he may or may not possibly look at adding RV sites. But again, that's all something that would have to start from scratch and go through the process. But we indicate that just so, I mean, with a property of this size, that way there's an indication of, you know, what may or may not happen in the near or far future. But yeah, this is just the 3 units, that's all we're considering tonight.
Any further discussion? No? Seeing none, we'll open it up to public comment. I thought somebody might want to comment. Come on up, sir.
One at a time.
Hi, my name is Wayne Thibodeau. I live at 7306 Road 25, and I also have a second house at 7294 Road 25. And as of right now, 25 and G is basically used as a bypass for vehicles to cut around the Broadway and things like that. My question is how does he plan to sustain the septic system? Does he plan on pumping it over to the highway for the use of this quad, or does he plan on putting septic tanks, or is he going to have septic fields? Because at some point or another, the city will stretch down to G Road, but I'm afraid by him setting these buildings up that the city will have the three sides they're looking for to go ahead and proceed stretching the city limits down to G Road.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Do we want to address these questions individually, or wait till the end?
We can wait. I mean, I can address the city limits. They have to have their master streets plan encompassing that area with a minimum of 12 years to even try and annex anything, and the city's not interested. They're trying to catch up with what they've got. So I don't see them ever annexing anything down there, but 20, 30 years, you never know, but nothing in the short future.
And any septic systems have to be engineered.
Right, yeah, all county septic systems have to be engineered, inspected and permitted.
All right, next.
Hi, we're Greg and Amico South, 7127 Road 25.4. We live east of his property. Our main point against this request is, even though Mr. Clark may meet all the land use code requirements, the question is this request compatible for the area he wants to put it in? Our response would be no. The area in question is rural and agricultural. It's not a city area where it's just compatible for apartments. Most of the people that live down there move there to get away from the city. If Mr. Clark would like to subdivide into 3-acre lots, not a problem. I wouldn't oppose it, we wouldn't oppose it, because that's what's in the area, not apartments. The city is for apartments. And like Mr. Haley said, he's also talking about possibly an RV park, short-term units, a wedding facility, and a place for public or company picnics. If you allow this, you will be setting the precedence for a high occupancy dwelling anywhere throughout the county, anywhere. Yeah, let's.
Would you please hold your applause? This isn't a ball game. This is a public meeting, so we ask for your decorum.
Louis McInnes, 25074, County Road G, Catty Corner. And the earlier gentleman expressed really great on, I hate to tell somebody what they can do with their own land. I don't necessarily want that on mine, but the lady also expressed very well. We moved out to the country to be out in the country, not to have an apartment complex across from us. And I'm sorry, I mean, there again, that's just, you know, that's not why we're there. We're out there to get away from people, you know, we've already got a graffiti problem out there that, you know, hasn't been really addressed that I know of. you know, we're gonna bring more cars, people, you know, I'd say low income, but that's basically what we're, you know, what's phrased on the paperwork out there.
It's affordable, not low income.
Okay.
I don't want.
First real problem.
It's your-
Sir,
Let's go.
you're gonna have to address the commission. We would not like you guys talking back and forth.
No, I get it. Not a problem. But anyway, just plain and simple, we oppose it, so.
I'm Kay McKinnis's wife. I just want to add that our family has owned that property for 50 years. My husband grew up there. We decided to retire there in May because this is where we want to live out our years, in the country. We plan on leaving it to our children who want to be able to come into the country. Our kids grew up there, our grandkids are growing up there. We want the country. We do not want apartments and city life coming out to us. They can stay in the city.
Thank you.
My name is Wendell Fry, 25089 Road G. This is the wrong place. I heard him say that it won't affect traffic. That's baloney. Already Road G and 25 are busy. You add 12 more, 12. I've got a paper here that it initially started out with 5 fourplexes. That's 20 homes. You put 12 homes out there, that's 12, most homes have 2 cars. That's another 24 possible cars right there on the road. That is way too much. The other thing is just like everybody else, it doesn't fit the area. The area is rural, agricultural, and to address your thing, the city already did try, as far as I know, to annex, and was because of some individuals out here that collected names that made it so they didn't. So to say that the city is not interested is actually, I would say, at best, a falsehood. So my thing is we enjoy where we live. That's why we went there. We try to take care of it. We run horses. We try to make it to be, it's our little paradise. We enjoy the people we live with. We think we try to treat them as well as we hope they treat us. This is the wrong place for something like this. I think, I'm not gonna get into like security, things like that. I'm just getting into what you can see. It's the wrong place for people who want to be on their 3 acres, want to be able to do things, want to be able to enjoy their life, and yet at the same time to have what you said earlier, a motel, a hotel right down the road there. That is exactly what it's going to be, and you're leaving the door open for additional quadruplexes or whatever else, because that's what was stated earlier. We've got the door open for future endeavors or for future enterprises. I oppose it, and thank you for your time.
Thanks. As far as the hotel, I think the applicants before were talking about 1 and 2 night.
Right, the
stays.
previous one
This
was
is-
short-term rentals, this
just
is
to
long-term
be
rentals.
clear, this is long-term rentals.
Correct.
For community members with jobs that are gonna live here and
Absolutely.
give back to the community.
For
So
the
this
massive
is-
shortage that we have.
Absolutely.
As we look around this room, I'm one of the youngest people in here. Luckily, I've set myself up to make good money so I can afford the housing market that your generation has put us in. It's so expensive to live here.
I wouldn't go after my generation.
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to put it as a whole.
Sir, do you want to come up and continue public comment?
My name is Jim Dickinson, and I live right across the road from this thing. And 24870 Road G. I'd be, I think phase 2 would be right in front of me. We bought that place to be out in the country. And I got my mules out there and my dogs running in the pasture, and that's where I want to stay. I don't think that apartment buildings fit in the community. Everybody there has bought those places the same reason we did. A place to be in the country. It's just a little bit of country. I'd like to have a lot more room, but I got good neighbors, so it's not a big deal. But we want to keep it that way. And the notice that was put up, I just want it for the record. It was up for 4 days. It was up for a couple of days, and you was cutting the driveway, and then it was standing upside down with the backside to the road until a couple days ago. So that might have been more people showed up if it was up all the whole time. But I don't see how it fits. It just doesn't fit the community that's there. Everything around it for a mile or so in either direction is basically the same thing we are. A little 3-acre patch of grass with residential and agriculture. So I don't think this thing fits in there.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave Dove. We live at 7823 Road 25, north of here. I can't agree more with everyone that has spoken opposition to this. We've been out there for, well, we got it in 1988, and we went out there because we were out of the city. I can't even imagine having apartment complexes out there. There's something that's happened since the advent of navigation devices. The traffic on Road G and Road 25 has increased, I would say 3 to 5-fold in the last 3 or 4 years. The crime has gone up. The number of commercial trucks, I was in the business, had 11 18-wheelers, and they're very heavy. And I used to have to pay a lot of money every year all over the country to take my trucks on these roads. And they tear the roads up. We've got, like I said, crime on the rise. We have, there's just no way to get in and out of that place without endangering people that, too much traffic that's already going by there now. There's no way to do it and without increasing the danger on that road. People go fast on that road. I've clocked people with my little device at over 100 miles an hour on that road before. You know, it doesn't get a lot of patrol, and we have had break-ins. We don't need, in fact, if you started at that intersection and drove a mile in any direction, I don't think you could pass the number of houses that he's proposing to put there. I mean, I say houses, units. I don't think you'd pass that many in any direction for a mile. So we're talking about increasing the traffic immensely with more people there's a lot more problems that come along with that. So I urge you to please consider the impact on all of the folks in this room and the people that didn't even know about it. I'm lucky to have found out. I drive by this, I guess I'm told there's a sign. There was a sign out there. I never saw it. Thankfully, my neighbors warned me about it and were nice enough to pass around some information to the neighborhood. But I promise you, there are many more people that don't know what's going on about it, and they will not speak for it. That there's no question about it. He mentioned that if he sells it down the road, that it would sell as one piece. And a lot of us have concerns about, public housing picking that property up. And then we do have low income.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm over my 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
All right, please, don't vote. Thank you.
How are you folks? I'm John Palmer at 7116 King Road 25. I have a feeling that this should not go because you're taking agriculture and trying to put it to commercial because you're putting housings in, okay? I don't feel that it should be that way. My house right there that everybody goes by and graffiti's on, I'm tired of it. And they're gonna put somebody there, they're gonna do more. I've had break-ins, I've had stuff stolen. I don't want to see it happen. And if it does happen, I'm selling out. Because we moved out there for one reason, that's to keep our horses. I run a horse business, and I get steers out here. I want it to stay that way. But if this goes through, you're gonna see a bunch of people selling out. So, I hope it don't, because if it does, it's gonna be a mess. All righty?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
My name's Barbara Staley, and I live just south of this property.
What's your address, ma'am?
Pardon?
What's your address, ma'am?
6890 Road 24.8.
Thank you.
My husband and I are completely opposed to this request for zoning change. The agricultural residential zoning played a major role in our decision to buy our property 18 years ago. We live in a rural, quiet, peaceful neighborhood, and we just hope and pray that it stays that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trent?
Good evening. My name is Trent Carver. I live at 24940 Road G. That's my driveway just south of Phase 1. I've been a lifelong resident of Montezuma County before most of you were born, for sure. I would be the first person to tell you that that's my land, I should be able to do what I want with it. But several years ago, this commission was given a job to zone Montezuma County and to contain development in areas that it needs to be in, and let the residential areas be residential. That's why I live where I live. I don't want to live in town. I don't want to live across the street from planned unit development, okay? Just like everybody else in Montezuma County. It's the way we are, we're human. You gentlemen and ladies were given a job to make sure that the land use development in Montezuma County conformed to what the people need and want. I urge you, reject this, period. Thank you.
Thanks.
My name is Stephanie Fry. I'm at 25089 Road G. I oppose this.
Excuse me. Would you close the microphone down? There you go.
And I think,
Repeat your address, 'cause we couldn't, I couldn't.
25089 Road G.
Thank you.
And Stephanie Fry. I oppose this. As everyone else has said, it's an agricultural area. I would not be opposed if it were 2 or 3 houses going in, but this many is not appropriate. The gentleman had said something about dust. Dust is not an issue. We like dust. That's why we live out there, because that means land and not more people. Also, the crime is a huge concern for me, having children out there. There has been a lot of crime and is continuing to be more, and has also been stated earlier, if this goes through, there will be a lot of people heading out. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Tracy. I live at 21842 County Road G. I'm 3 miles away from this, 3.5 miles away from it, but I'm concerned that it's setting a precedent for the rest of the county. And if you start putting apartment buildings in rural areas, that it's just going to stretch across other parts of the county, and I don't want to look at it across the street from myself. I've been concerned about the fact that the sign was up for, I think it was 3 days, and then it wasn't there. And so it was maybe purposefully taken down. You can tell I really hate talking in public, but I'm just concerned about the precedent that it's going to set. Thank you.
Can I address the sign thing? The wind blew it over 3 times. I picked it back up, blows it back over. Fence posts put in sign has been up the last 5 days.
Good evening. My name is Rick Meredith. I live at 7961 Road 26.1. I'm about 1.5 miles away. I'm concerned that 20 units or even 12 units are not compatible with the neighborhood, which is primarily small farms or 3 to 5 acre residences. I think it will increase the traffic significantly. 12 residences will probably double the amount of residences just in that neighborhood, and it's going to increase the traffic and the noise. And I'm concerned about the infrastructure. Someone else mentioned how are they going to deal with sewage. I'm remembering some problems with a trailer park south of Totten Lake many years ago with an open sewer pit, so I'm concerned about those kinds of things too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marcy Reichenau. My address is 24851 Road F75. We've lived in this area for 30 years, and I am worried about the traffic for sure. It's an enormous amount of traffic to add there. We already have a high drug traffic in the area. It's bringing in lower income traffic, but they use that subdivision there. Lots of traffic uses it as a bypass. It's not quicker. It's a gravel road. Tons of traffic goes around. The county uses that road, that subdivision where we live. Whenever they're working on the road, that's our cost. But the main thing is too, like was said before, what about the precedents for the county? Somebody, we're gonna have lots of smaller lots, and this is gonna reduce our property value. We appreciate your consideration to oppose this. Thank you.
Thanks.
My name is Luis Rascona. I live at 7131 County Road 25, right in the middle of the Horseshoe. Lived there 15 years. Trying to sell this property. It's supposed to close on the 15th of November, and the buyers backed out because they knew this was going in. I just found that out yesterday. Property value, I believe, is going to drop, and if you're trying to get it, if it does go up and you try to sell your property, I think it's going to be a problem. If you can't really get out your land, would you do it?
Thanks.
I'm Jody Lamb. I live at 7176 Road 25, which is directly across from the upper arm of the Horseshoe. I got a certified letter in the mail. I assumed that the information was complete. Found out today it was not. There was a lot of information missing. I'm concerned that other people that got that letter assumed it was complete when it wasn't, didn't get all the information. The cover letter from the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission says the property is on the east of Road 25. Anyone looking at this letter would assume, okay, that may not affect me because it's on the east side. This property is on the west side, not the east side. I'm concerned about the traffic. That is a narrow road, and it's very busy. There are semi-trucks going down there, there are cars going down there, there's school buses going down there. The access is on Road G. The fastest way to get to town from that access is straight up 25. That is where people will go. They won't go the other way, they won't deal with Broadway, they will go straight up 25 right past our houses. I'm very opposed to this. The job of the county commission, it says in the land use code, is to protect the rural character of the county through the enactment of development regulations appropriate for rural areas. I've lived there for 25 years. I moved there because it's quiet, it's peaceful. I wanted to get away from people, have my privacy. If you put affordable apartment buildings in there, that is all going to go away. There's going to be noise, there's going to be crime, there's going to be traffic. I don't know how there couldn't be. I moved out of town to get away from town. I moved out of town to get away from apartment buildings, not to have them move in next to me. I'm very opposed to this. I think it's a very bad idea. And I worry that it sets a precedent for the future. If apartments can go in, how much of a stretch is it? We'll just add RV parks, add short-term rentals, which becomes a hotel, as was the previous discussion. Add more people, add more traffic. I hope you all will consider why we live down there. We live down there to be away from this very thing. If 3-acre lots go in, that's fine. That's what most of us live on, is 3-acre lots. Yeah, there'll be more people, but not that volume of more people. Thank you.
My name's Jaredus Jardins. I live at 24667 Road F.8, and I didn't get a certified letter. I didn't see the sign. I was lucky enough that somebody put a piece of paper in my mailbox. Very appreciative, whoever did that. I moved down here about 2.5 years ago. We found this nice rural spot down here. I like it because it's quiet. It's dark. I usually wake up early in the morning. It's nice to go out there, see the stars. I've lived in subdivisions where you come out and you can't really see much because of light pollution. So that and traffic and all that, I'm just saying my family is opposed to this as well. So thank you guys.
Thanks.
Hello, my name's Bill Sturman. I live at 7040 County Road 25.2. And I don't see how this can even pass the rules. I mean, the perk test, I think the water table's probably about 2 feet. I've had to redo my septic system because my water table was at 3 feet. And I'm east of him about a 1/4 mile. Yeah, so I don't even see how this could even follow under the regs. And this definitely does not belong down there. Well, as with everyone else, you're going to set a precedent, and we're going to have these all over the county. Therefore, I think you should reject this. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks.
My name's Roger. Excuse me. My name's Roger Borgen. I live at 25855 Road H. I don't live nearly as close as most of these folks here, but the traffic is a main concern of mine. That road is used as a bypass by everybody. Speed limit's 40 miles an hour. I'm constantly calling the sheriff, Nowlin. I got his personal cell phone number, complaining about the traffic. People are always doing 60 to 80, 90 miles an hour down that road. This will do nothing but increase the traffic and all the problems associated with it. Like everybody else has eloquently stated, it does not fit. High-density housing in the county is not what this county is all about. We moved here 23 or 4 years ago, and I bought down there for the privacy and to be out of the city. We don't need this. The water table, people have mentioned it. We've been in some dry years lately. He mentioned that he had the, whoever come out and look at it. Water is gonna come back. Trust me, it always does. So what's gonna happen when that turns back into the swamp that it is? It does not fit. Please listen to everybody and consider all of the thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have one email public comment. the people are out of town. It's from Brian and Jane Miller at 7475 Road 25. He says, my wife and I have owned the property at 7475 Road 25 since 1999. It is approximately 2/3 of a mile from the proposed development. Over the last 23 years, we have seen a tremendous increase in traffic on Road 25, partly due to the increased landfill traffic. Adding 20 family units is not what the road needs. Our property has an east-west creek and is a wildlife corridor. There is a rural agricultural cluster housing area, the country, and this sounds like it would be better suited to Cortez or adjacent property. It says, thank you. With one vote, you can change an area forever. Brian and Jane Miller.
Anyone else from the public want to comment? All right, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission and open discussion.
My biggest concern, and almost everybody spoke to it, is the traffic. About 20 years ago, CDOT came up with a plan to bypass Cortez. They were going to go south and back west, and I think the west was going to be County Road G. Well, they didn't do it, so our county did it. And now it's County Road 27 to County Road H to County Road 25 back to the highway on G. So we've got a heck of a mess. I travel that road quite a bit, and I'm really concerned about it. And there's just way too much traffic.
I mean, what constitutes way too much? Like, is there a traffic study that we could see that says this is going to make an impact that is significant enough to turn down a proposal for 12, probably people that are making a significant impact in the community that really need housing, or filling jobs that have been vacant for quite some time. You know, these aren't people buying $500,000 houses, but they do need places to live. So, like, where's the balance there? And somebody just saying that there's more traffic doesn't tell me. I have to see the data. I can't just look at it, hear an observation, and you know what I mean?
I did ask Rob at Road and Bridge if there was over 200 vehicles that went through that intersection in a day, and he said that there is. I don't know if when the last traffic count was done, but that was just a guess at 200 on my part, but he said that probably was the case.
And is that, like, can the area handle that much? Like, what's the threshold?
The county road can handle it. CDOT's intersection can't be upgraded any more than what it is, and that's what CDOT goes by. I don't know when the last count would have been from Road and Bridge on that. But yeah, all the trash trucks are running to the landfill, along with lots of other people, especially during the pandemic. They're all cleaning up their trash, which is a good thing, but it does increase traffic.
I mean, I would hate to turn something down on an estimate.
Can
Like,
I add something?
public comments.
We can actually close it, I'm sorry.
Can't add anything?
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that data, but like Don says, that is, I mean, there's landfills down there, there's a lot of traffic that goes to that, I'm sure.
Excuse me,
But that's what I'm uncomfortable with.
Just remember the Love's truck stop going in, that has been approved already.
And that's what I'm uncomfortable with. Like, I'm sure there's a lot, or it feels like a lot. Like, is 200 the threshold a day for that area, or can it handle, like, it's just hard. it's hard for me to say no to a really viable project without seeing that data.
Well, viable, I mean, I agree with you, Haley, in the sense that affordable housing is needed. We definitely need it in the area, but it's gotta fit. It has to fit in a location that doesn't compromise certain groups, certain people.
What does that mean by compromise? Are we assuming that these are poor criminals? It's kind of how.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, it's in the area. We have single-family homes all around.
And what this adds up to is low density. I mean, this isn't, by the definition, it's not high-density housing. This is low, what he's proposing is low density. And they're single-story, correct?
Correct. But I'm looking, okay, we started off with 5, now we're down to 3. What's gonna stop it from another 5? And then the maybe potential RV park. Understand, we gotta go through our process again.
And that,
So we
we're
have
the
to-
ones, I mean, or whoever sits in our seats are the ones that stop it. And we just make the recommendation. So the commissioners are the ones that stop
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know, our job is,
They're gonna do it, right.
does this meet the criteria? And they say, based on our recommendation, yes or no, and generally feel differently, more strongly about things.
That's their job, right?
Correct. So from my perspective, it meets the A, B, and C.
If we voted no, it still goes to the commissioners.
Correct.
Or if we vote yes, it goes to the commissioners.
Can go, yes.
Yes.
They can.
If you
appeal.
vote to deny it, then they have to petition for it to go to the county commission. And as always, if you vote to deny it, then you would need to stipulate what and why, so that the applicant has that information. If it's something to mitigate, if it's something, traffic count numbers, some idea of why, so that we have that information.
Well, we can't vote to approve or deny it based on traffic numbers that we don't have. So would Road and Bridge do a count then and give us data?
I don't imagine they've had a road traffic count since CDOT did that intersection.
They did the intersection of 25 and G, or the intersection
No, well,
of
CDOT
491
did it at the highway,
Yeah.
and that controls traffic from that direction.
So they did
with-
an individual count, east, west, north, south?
They did do a traffic count from G and 25 to the landfill. At the point they were looking at paving that or not paving it. I don't have those figures. So that would have been south of G on 25.
I mean, I understand if there's a genuine safety concern and the data tells us this equals problem.
I don't understand the feasibility of a project in a rural area when we've got so much open space in Cortez that would be better developed for apartments.
But I think, you know, to counter that, this is what he owns. Like,
Yeah,
he
this man
doesn't
already owns
own
the
a property in
property.
Cortez, and
Well, you
no
know,
one in Cortez is volunteering.
Where you work, all of that area across the
And it's in
road,
development.
that's prime
It's in,
for multifamily development.
and Pinion Project's building something over there.
It's been for sale forever.
There's the 50 units going in next year. That's just where I am. I know we all often disagree on that.
That's why we're up here.
Well, we
Agree to disagree. Yes, we can.
That's understandable.
That's why you guys are paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
If it's been many years since they did a study, it might be nice to have those figures, to see the difference between then and now.
I mean, I'd be happy to make that a condition to send that along, so when the commissioners are looking at it, they have some data to verify if there's a safety concern there. I mean, Don, is that reasonable if that's one of the biggest concerns of the general public?
It is because it's an effect on the area. I guess without knowing exact traffic numbers, you don't know if 12 units is 5%, 3%, 18%.
Right. We're just speculating.
It's all speculation, yeah. I mean, you've got the option, you could continue this and get road and bridge numbers, but if they're 3 years old, road and bridge isn't gonna go do another traffic count just 'cause. I don't know if those, and like I said, I mean, I don't know, I just know that there was a discussion on the amount of traffic to the landfill, and that's when they did some kind of traffic count in reference to paving that or not a couple years ago.
There's more current traffic count.
So if we deny this application, we have to have reasoning for that, and safety would be one, and I mean, how do we ascertain the damage to the property value, the surrounding property value?
I mean, you've got the objective items of meeting the land use code. You've got the utilities. Speed on that road, that's got nothing to do with it.
No.
Either road, any road, that's beyond us. That's
Right.
is what it is. You do have the subjective part of if it fits within the area.
Can I address some of the questions that they had? Because I'd like to go over a few of those things.
I think you should.
Yes.
I have them, I wrote some down. As with the city moving down, I'm as thoroughly against that as everyone else here. I don't want the city moving in, more taxes, more things that, the benefits of living in the county that you get. As far as people moving in, I don't want slums and criminals and bad people in my rentals. I want good people. And just like across the street, there's graffiti everywhere. If we can move some people in there to actually kind of police this system, they're gonna live there too. They don't want there to be graffiti everywhere, people stealing signs down. That corner right there, people sit there and park in that corner, and who knows what they're doing in their cars. Like, they're just sitting there I live right around the corner. I literally live on Road G right there. I'm with these people in the community. It's not like I'm some guy who's just building and I live somewhere completely far away. I can see the spot from my house. And I'm not trying to build like some ghetto trailer park. And that's one of the problems we're having with our community is it's so expensive to build or do anything. It's $400,000. I'm a builder. That's what I do. It's $400,000 to build a single family home, 1,800 square feet. It's 400 G's all day long. So now what these people are doing, their parents have property and they're putting trailers on them. Like we live in the country, but we have, it's basically multifamily already. If you go down the road, there's trailers on trailers on trailers on these properties, and we're just adding more and more multifamily, basically the same thing that I'm doing, but they're putting trailers instead of actually building nice residential, these are going to be apartments, but I'm not going to build something that looks ugly. I'm also not going to ever let anyone in my apartments that are going to tear stuff up or causing hell to the community around me. I don't want any part of that. And I'm going to be there to police. I have 2 people that live in my renters up top. We do background checks, we do credit checks, and we also make sure they have a job. So these people aren't going to be moving in. You know, it's not going to be like a Section 8 or anything like that. There'll be nothing amongst those. And I'm willing to do. I'm happy playing ball with seeing what the traffic's like. You know, doing all these things to make sure that it's good. And I want to make sure that these people, you know, they're not going to come hate me and not want to be my neighbor anymore and tell me to get out of here, you yuppie. So that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because my age group, we cannot. There's nowhere to rent. If you go online right now and you're able to look to rent a house, there were 4 places, and 2 of them of which were mine. The other 2 are low-income apartments, $1,100 a month for 1 bedroom. Maybe you can snag a house up. Maybe you can't. Who knows? But these people they're just packing their houses. They can't afford to live anywhere. So if we keep saying, oh, you can't do this, it doesn't fit the community, then we're not going to have a community. I own businesses here. I can't find labor. Just as she said, they have nowhere to live. These people have lived here forever, and I totally respect what they're saying, and they absolutely have a right to say it. But at the same time, we're having growing pains. People keep having children. There has to be something. They have to have somewhere to go. And you can say to the city, but what is there to do there? There's nothing. There's so much more. That land that you're talking about, not all of it's usable. There's bedrock a foot underneath it. You can't even build. What do you talk about? Awesome. Property value, it won't affect the property value. If anything, it'll go up. You're having nicer, newer homes being put up. When right down the road, there's, 1970 trailers and stuff like that. We're not concerned about that, but we're concerned about nicer, like brand new buildings with all this stuff. Quality
Public
buildings being
comment
put
is
up.
closed.
Can you please be quiet? He is talking and it's his turn. He's the applicant. He can have as much time as he needs. No. All right, thank you.
Kind of lost where I was at. As far as the septic, I had a Colorado State engineer, registered or licensed engineer, come down. I spent about 6.5 hours with him digging test holes with my excavator. We dug holes on site or phase 3, phase 1, and phase 2, and all around the back fence on the left side of the driveway, all which the water table was well below. And they said that it's been dry. This is probably the wettest summer I've ever been here. I've lived here my entire life, so rain's been coming like crazy. We actually dug directly after the rainstorm as what he wanted to do, so that he could see where the water table would be at. So we picked the date right after the rain, and he said, we'll show up. Took my excavator, and the septic's, it's all going to be a closed system, so it'll be pumped out. So there's not going to be any like ponds or septic ponds and things like that.
There's
So
no
like I
leach
said,
field?
do what?
There's no leach field then?
There will be a leach field, but it's all underground, so. Well, the water, yes, can leak out, but
How do you put a leach field on bedrock?
Commissioner, also, I have
it's not bedrock. That's why I said you can't build in the city.
I'd like to propose a motion, with your permission.
Yes.
I propose to deny this permit based on the fact that it does not fit within the rural agricultural area.
And I will second that.
Any discussion? It's not completely agricultural area, it's
Agricultural, rural,
more residential than
residential,
agricultural
rural.
there.
It doesn't fit the small community farming, agriculture, rural aspect of that particular area.
I disagree.
Any further discussion?
I think it's hard to say it doesn't fit without seeing what it looks like. these are smaller units. They're a little bit, looks to be a little bit longer than a single wide. I mean, you can see evidence of other types of, at least trailer size homes in the area. I would like to go in a different direction and give them a chance to bring forward the traffic count to establish if it's safe or not, and let the commissioners go from there. I think it's unwise to deter responsible building, and that's what this sounds like to me.
Any further discussion? Stan? All right, we'll call the vote.
Commissioner Russell,
Nay.
just to be clear, you're voting to deny the motion. Just so everybody understands that.
Yes, I'm voting to deny the motion.
So that's an aye? If you're agreeing with denying it, that would be an aye.
Right, I'm not agreeing with the motion.
Thank you. Just so everybody's clear.
Okay.
We don't, yeah,
If I said aye, I would be agreeing with the motion.
correct. Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders?
Nay.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
All right, the motion carried, and the vote was 3-2. Probably they'll have to petition the commissioners to meet with them. You can talk with these guys, they can tell you what you have to do.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't we have this one?
No, that was it.
Do we?
No?
Don't we have? Jane, do we have?
We have one more.
Yeah, Mott.
We have Mott left.
Did I have that?
She sent it to you.
I don't have that.
Emailed it to you.
Oh, emailed it to me?
Yeah.
You didn't print it off?
Oh, no, I don't even have a printer in the house.
It's not on here?
It's real simple, so.
All they're doing is combining their.
It's not on our
Yeah, that's good.
worksheet?
I don't know.
You can see it on the screen
Is it on the worksheet?
here.
It's not on the worksheet?
I emailed everything to you guys.
Yeah.
To print off, and I didn't print it off, neither did you, Stan.
I didn't
You
either.
can see it on the screen.
Here it is.
Oh, I got
Like,
it
oh,
too.
you gave it up, okay, okay.
Yes, but it's not on the worksheet to,
Do you need copies
All they're doing is.
Well, there's the worksheet if you want the worksheet.
Consolidating their two lots.
Yeah, there it is. Sure.
roll call, please.
Mark it up. It's good.
Commissioner Russell?
Here.
Commissioner Pierce?
Here.
Commissioner Sanders?
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Here.
Commissioner Taylor?
Present.
Come here, Lori.
Oh, I can't make a motion though.
All right, number 7.
This won't take near as long.
Now I gotta find the right
This is
page.
why we urge people to put their applications in early.
Number 6, I should say.
Six.
Number 6.
6.
Notice is hereby given the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed common lot line change to lot numbers 13 and 15 of the Rustic Ridge Phase 2 subdivision submitted by Troy and Lori Mott on properties located at 26972 Road T.8 and to be determined Road T.8, Dolores, Colorado, both consisting of 3.5 acres more or less, both located east of Road 27, south of Road T.8, situated in Section 13, Township 37 North, range.
Gentlemen, could you please take this outside? We can't hear him speak.
Range 16 West, New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
Was evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral odors submitted?
Yes, sir?
And was the sign posted?
Yes, sir?
And the applicant is up here. Do we have planning department findings?
Sure. Troy and Lori are just planning to combine the two lots they own. Their house is on one lot and their barn is on the other, and they just want to combine the two lots. And that's it,
Very simple.
And they have to come here because they're in a subdivision.
because it's in a subdivision.
Got it.
Otherwise, it would just be a boundary line adjustment,
Right.
and it'd just go to,
They just have a surveyor do it.
Yep.
and Be done.
Ministerial.
but because they're lucky enough to be in a subdivision, they get to go to the process.
Would you like to add anything to any of that?
No.
Is there any further planning department discussion?
So we are talking a combination more or less of 7 acres,
Yes.
more or less.
Yeah.
That's it. For the record, that's it.
Yeah.
And their covenants does allow to consolidate if it's one residence.
Okay.
All right, no further discussion.
Haley.
Well, we gotta open up to public comment.
There's a
Queenie,
pro-
Queenie?
Stan,
Queenie,
there's
do
a
you have anything to
process.
add?
Last
All
woman
right.
standing.
Okay, so there's, we're taking it back to the commission, and I would entertain a motion.
If I had my sheet back, I would. Thank you. Okay, I make a motion, where are we at? Make a motion to recommend to the County Board of Commissioners to approve the common lot change to lots 13 and 15 of the Rustic Ridge Phase 2 subdivision submitted by Troy and Lori Mott based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with proposed zoning.
Second.
Any further discussion? Stan seconded that.
Conditions?
No conditions.
Okay, no.
Do we have a second?
Stan.
Stan,
Thank you.
and we'll call the vote, please.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Saunders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Motion carried, vote was unanimous. Good luck, I bet you wish you would have been first tonight.
Yes, but at least I didn't have the big crowd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
good
need
luck
back
to
your
you.
sign so I can change it for the next meeting.
Oh, is that, okay.
Yes.
So what
You
is,
have one more.
Yay. Is it gonna be on
what
the
is
same
the,
page?
No, it'll be the Board of
that?
County
what is
Commissioners.
the process? Well, we're done, I think. What's the process for, that young man to petition the commissioners?
Yeah, he has to petition within 30 days for the BOCC to have the public hearing.
How do they usually do that? They,
If, we pretty much, I don't know that they've ever denied hearing one.
I'm sure they'll look at our.
Then it has to go through the public hearing process, packets, the whole same routine.
Again, and go to them, just like it would have if we would have passed it, but, or approved it, but without the petition. Well, hopefully he gets his chance there.
Yeah, and I don't know what Road and Bridge has as far as traffic counts.
Sounds like it's about time for an update on several different roads throughout the county.
Yeah.
Because there's some high impact. Totten Lake Road is bad. Of course, this stretch, this bypass that, getting down to M&M.
Well, this is the one that we looked at, the master plan that may come true in our lifetime and may not, but
Yeah.
they're looking to divert the highway all the way down G, and then turn north, line it up with Totten Lake Road, and have a big intersection there.
H would make more sense because it's extended all the way
Ooh, that's
east already.
That's a huge land grab there on the state's behalf.
Oh my, yeah, no, I think they
Eminent
would get
domain.
over, they'd have to get over to H, I think that's right. It gotta be
Yeah,
G,
you take
then
G to
H.
25 to H.
Yes, so
to
there you go.
29.
They think they're gonna have more traffic, now.
You'd have to
But
fit
that,
the
I doubt that's in
criteria.
our lifetime,
Biggest
my
criteria
lifetime
is
anyway.
blight.
Maybe Haley's, yeah,
Oh.
Area
yeah,
has to
man.
be blight, so it has
I
to
guess
be.
we do.
He's so much younger than me.
The traffic
No,
is
that's
terrible.
just
We do need to cover additional
Yeah, I
discussion.
So we
mean,
do have additional
I
discussion.
bet if we did traffic,
We still got additional discussion to go
What?
through.
Okay.
I bet if we did traffic counts on every county road,
Oh, they've all
in the
increased.
last 10 years, they will be up.
I would love to have
Start all over again.
an updated data set to work from, because every time people come in, they're like, the traffic's bad. And I don't know what constitutes bad. It's all
And
subjective.
How do you ask for it? Because on 31 where I'm at, because there's boggy drop, they do that every 6 months, there's a traffic count.
Really?
All the time, all the time.
The county's doing that? Or-
Probably Forest Service.
Forest Service.
Forest Service
Oh,
probably.
man, could be.
I'll bet it's Forest Service.
I bet it's Forest
I bet the
Service.
county wouldn't spend the money to do it every month,
I think it would be helpful and
There's
level the
nothing.
playing field, because I don't think it's fair.
because we don't know, I mean, say a traffic, it's dangerous, traffic's up, and then on some of the applications, Rob has even said, it's fine. Well, yeah, that's just the other side of the coin, he's saying it's fine, we don't know.
Yeah. So what's fine?
Because, I mean, we can't change our county roads. They're not gonna get any wider.
No,
Right, so if 200 a day or whatever is not fine, then that makes me more comfortable with saying no to something like that. But if it's fine, according to Rob, I just, yeah.
well, everybody uses
But it's still
that.
people that don't have a place to live.
I'm going from my house to Belt Salvage, I don't go through town.
Right.
I go right by Stan's place.
Lots of people do.
Yeah, almost go by your place, I'm close.
I think it's zoned, what is it? I gotta go fly back across here.
What's our additional discussion? Was that in our email that we didn't read?
No, it was on the original one too.
Says maybe additional discussion. It didn't say what
Oh.
it might be, though.
Mhm. Continued discussion of the after the fact application,
The one down on Road G?
all of them.
Oh,
What does that mean? After the fact application?
You were gone.
Yeah.
we were,
It's zoned AR 10 to
Grant writer.
the
34,
commissioners tasked us
but it's
with,
35
with trying
acres.
to determine a
So what we do is a
penalty
commercial
for
envelope,
coming in after the fact.
because we
Oh, yeah.
can't
We
zone
talked
35
about
acres
time
commercial, or we'd have a
frame, and it's
big
unlikely.
mess.
So let's blame Zach.
Yeah, but,
He's really sick. He's
yeah,
really sick.
I mean, without any development,
But
it's kind of,
it's the planning department's recommendation.
we don't get real hung up on those zonings if it's AR.
Individually write up
You know,
their
if you're going commercial, light industrial, heavy, then it's more critical, but
Get them to Zach or
Okay.
Mike.
we run into these acreage problems.
Just on,
Because if you dedicate half the county road and you're on a corner, you're losing an acre or two. And so it can take you below 35
are you going
net,
to give them
but
a certain amount of grace time like we discussed before?
That's a tough one, trying to figure out a time. Maybe do you go back 10 years, do you go back 5 years? Do you say no
Well,
from
that
here on
too,
out?
That's
figure
It's,
out-
it's almost gotta be from here on
figure
out.
out
Draw
if
the
you're
line.
going
Draw the
to-
line.
Yeah, we have to draw a line somewhere.
And who's enforcement? Is it just like a certified letter? Does Ian go to their house? The lawyer?
That
Like,
would
what
be something
happens?
that you guys
Yeah.
would be discussing.
What is, yeah, like anything from the
But
county,
with-
what is the
Yeah, with the
enforcement?
grace period, you could have it to where it's,
You need to come in and do this.
yeah, you need to come in and do this, or this is gonna happen.
Oh, yeah,
But you
yeah.
can, for anybody that's at a certain amount of time, you could probably just grandfather them in, but from this point on forward, that's gonna be the problem.
Is there, My mind goes to like some sort of automated, is there a, like, do people have to identify their own problem? Like, I know that.
So during
my-
the grace period, if they came in and said, this is my situation, I want to get it compliant, then they can just go through the regular system.
But we're not.
Would
gonna-
you notify?
If we find out about it and notify them that they're non-compliant, then they're getting into the bonus dollars for having to
And
do
the
an
only
after
way
the
we
fact.
can find out is if neighbors turn them in, because we're not gonna have a county official that goes around and.
No.
You don't have a
and-
code enforcement officer.
Do you
tries
have
to
a bunch
find
of
all
places
these,
that you know are not in
violations
compliance?
and not
She's
just
gonna
not-
be,
I ran into one.
Probably the 712 that have
sale.
extra mobile
Oh,
homes.
And I
on.
went and looked at it.
So I just wonder, like,
It was not in compliance.
I think.
how much information does it take to be like,
If we go through the
read all of
process
this?
and have them people come
Are you in
and then
compliance?
They choose not to come in.
Super
Now, if
amount.
they're
Oh, no.
discovered,
Yeah, we
What's
just
the
have to
penalty?
put it on the
I
webpage,
bet almost
county
every
Facebook page, and do a
rural
blast
place
Yeah.
that's
every
been built
month for a year.
30 years ago or later is gonna be.
It'd be kind of cool,
setback
like if you
violations.
had all the ones that,
I would be.
if you had a list of things that were out of
Is about
compliance,
30 foot from the road.
they
see,
would get a
now
letter
every-
and they could just like check the box and be like, fix it.
Yeah.
Like, put me in compliance.
Now everybody's just setting up campsites.
Yeah.
I think as far as going back, I mean, I would be willing to bet that almost every rural
Now you're on notice, and so.
rural buildings, rural places that were built 30 years ago or later, I bet almost every one of them's in setback violation.
I remember watching.
Yeah, we wouldn't mess with those.
Good, then I
But-
can, then I can look at the penalties differently.
So the grandfather, what was cause see, we changed them in November of 2020. It's 30 feet now, it was 25 then, so if you built before November of 2020, at 25 feet, you're fine, but now it's 30 feet.
Do you blanket
Residences
grandfather?
were 50 feet, and now they're 30 feet.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the stickler for me.
The
is
main
that
thing are like these
we're gonna ha- setbacks are
PUDs
gonna
that
be-
people have put 4 houses on their property.
That'll bring us
Is
in
that
more money than can.
individual come and talk to you, that I told you that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No,
Definitely.
He talked to Melissa.
But you know, once, yeah, once you kick it and they all.
Septic system stuff,
Septic and tiny homes.
and what?
Tiny
Oh,
homes.
really? What, is that up on Summit Ridge?
No, Road R.
There's a few of them up there.
oh yeah, he did, on R,
That's where those 3 men get very.
but I already knew
Which
about it.
side of 145?
Oh, yeah,
I
built this barn right
Not very far.
within,
Uh-oh.
I already knew about it because the rental place east of town, which is his brother, I had to look up his letter permit. Well, the letter from CDOT that went to Road R. So I looked at the property, I'm like, yep, that looks like too many units.
Are going to other landowners.
So I've been looking to send him a letter for about a month. And then GIS is like, look on Zillow, this place is for sale. And I'm like, hey, those 2 places look familiar. It was all the same property.
What he told Melissa was that he was gonna disconnect one of the tiny homes.
Yeah, but he's gotta sell it.
Because they came into.
He's selling it.
Still gotta correct the septic system.
And because somebody had approached.
What about the lady down G that was in that night that kind of got this ball rolling?
Oh yeah, I drove by that one. I just saw it and I'm like, what's with all these little tiny houses?
Did she do anything? Well, she was here that night and
She went through the whole process. It,
Ban on her water tap.
and did she have to add
Septic
septic system?
She had to put in,
a new septic, permitted
What
the
she
old
had-
septic,
what she had was not,
Not sufficient for that many.
No.
Yeah.
had to get a new water tap.
That's why that one with the 6 tiny homes, I mean, they go off of how many bathrooms is in your house when they design your septic systems. And if you have
Well,
6 bathroom
Commissioner
house,
Rosso?
The state goes off of, bedrooms. For some reason, the state health goes off of number of bedrooms, not
Oh, really?
bathrooms. You could have 67 bathrooms, but if you have 2 bedrooms,
Yeah.
I guess they figure only, you gotta sleep somewhere, not in a bathroom.
Commissioner Russell?
But,
They figure if there's 50 people living in the house, they're
You gotta
gonna,
speak up,
the
Yeah.
bathroom is gonna have more usage.
Commissioner Russell?
Commissioner Russell, I move that we adjourn the meeting unless we have any further group discussion.
Are we,
Well, we've officially been tasked then.
we're done with our
Individuals.
discussion on the,
apparently,
We'll bring some things to the next thing.
yeah.
Putting it in my
You
calendar.
have your assignments.
Your assignment.
Yeah.
We have a month? You're gonna give us a month?
Yeah, I'll give you a month.
Will you send us a calendar reminder?
We've already had 3 months.
I will give you till next meeting, November.
Now we're serious. No,
Okay.
yeah, it's a tough deal.
Oh, it's gonna be.
So
It's gonna be
I'm
tough.
working on penalties.
I think
Yeah,
we have
what's
to-
your
Well,
thoughts?
what's your thoughts,
on how to do
concerns
something?
about the, after the facts, when people do stuff on their property
We kind of already
and
discussed
come to the
penalties.
commissioners asking for permissions?
penalties, yeah.
I mean, forgiveness instead of permission.
4 times what
But
they
again,
would have paid.
my thing is, if they choose not to do it at all and just ignore the county completely, well, now what's the ramifications?
Right.
More than the 4 times.
That's when
the
the
penalty.
attorney
because
gets
the
involved.
4 times is only if you get caught and you come in for forgiveness.
Is there
But
like
if you refuse to come in,
a planning
what is gonna happen?
email
then?
group
That's when the
that
county
you're
attorney gets involved.
Yeah,
on that you
exactly.
could ask if anybody has
And
those?
then, and
Well,
the
you
dollar
Does any
amount,
other rural county have
and the
something
dollar
similar?
amount goes up
After the fact
exponentially.
penalties?
But
Or a
how do you
process?
make them pay? What do you
half
do?
of them don't even.
Well, when you start,
You can't shut
enforce
it
them,
down.
don't
When you
have
go
road
to-
impact fees.
Yeah.
You start putting
So
those
we're-
in.
Just implemented a land use code for the first time.
Well, we did have a
Queen's
motion to
Guys.
adjourn.
So in Memphis right now, if you, if, from an after the fact, or we have sent, we have noticed that you have a illegal, and we sent you letters and you ignore it, then you can come. We had one that just recently came to the board, and of course the board can't do anything about it, so we have a board of appeals. They have to go in front of the Board of Appeals, and then from the Board of Appeals, then it goes, our lawyer will be involved with the Board of Appeals. So if that helps you in your decisions. We have a gentleman who had a AUD and took it all the way down, and it was illegally, but we took it down and to the slab, was going to remove it, because once you go that far down, you have to move it, and he refused to move it, and so now he's either going to have to tear it down or pay the huge fine. He failed to follow the procedures.
No.
If that helps.
Yeah, if we go through the process
Thank
and they
you.
just refuse to do it, then they get the certified letter and they don't comply, they get the attorney's letter, and then the commissioners can take them to district court.
Okay, you put the lien, okay. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And then the lien will be put on the property.
Correct. Yeah,
On a legal
step
basis.
by step by step.
Because
No cheating.
we can't create laws to counter it, so.
Was moved and seconded to adjourn.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Oh. I didn't-
Thank you, John.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Sounds like we're adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I think it was gonna be worse.
Well, I still love every